Lady here is Kenyan, so I want to hear her opinion, and then I will bring this home.
Kenya TikTok is trending because a passport bro tried it. He tried to go to Kenya. He tried to say we ugly, we mid, we sevens, we what, we this, we that. But one thing you can't say is a Kenyan ain't stupid. Go run game on somebody else. And he tried it in the Dominican too. And then the Kenyans, we are relentless. They shut down that YouTube. And I love that for him. Somebody said on this app, don't mess with Jamaicans, South Africans, and Kenyans. I think there was one more group. But yeah, he effed around and found out. And I'm here for it. I love it. And I need to get his picture so y'all can see who we talking about here. And then we can compare some of the Kenyan ladies that responded on this app. I always want to call somebody ugly. Meanwhile, you broke. You're physically challenged. Like, come on now. Trip down memory lane. Because I'm Kenyan, 100%, mother and father. I was just born here. But let's take a trip down an old video. We talked about, we clocking your T, Passport Bros. Y'all need to stop.
It's like they maxing out at 7. And even some of their bodies are like, you'll have a chick with an ass, but she'll have a stomach. Or you'll have a chick with a cute face, but her teeth will be fucked up. Or you'll have a chick that's actually looks good, but her hair is like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, these girls are just so mid, yo.
In the United States, for whatever reason, there are ignorant individuals that believe because somebody's from another country or has an accent.
I want to take a look at this closely and see Passport Bro Hood action figures. So you got passport, check. You got Viagra, check, because Jerello goes out there and buys it. You got Trojan. I don't know about that. Some use it, some don't. Get some baby oil. I don't know about that either. I don't know. I don't think everybody in the movement is obese and fat and short. But I've seen a lot in Cartagena that are really, really overweight and not in shape. So you can make some of that argument, but of course it's not everybody. You got a GoPro over there. Yeah, a lot of them are vlogging because they got to send something back to get their audience to fund that next trip. And you got a few dollars there. Yeah. And to be honest, some of the guys do have the means to travel. But what we're seeing lately is most of the guys are broke. Like a big majority of them, especially the ones that have YouTube, they seem to be really broke people. They don't have any skill to come home to. A lot of them don't have any skill set here at home, and this is true because I'm on these groups and I watch their streams and I've come to understand really what is driving this or what the changes are. and for somebody that is really advocating for men to be of exceptional ability and character, it really bothers me when I see a lot of young men go down this path to what I think is going to be a very horrible ending. And the primary motivator is just sex, fellas. That is the only thing that really drives these people. It's just sex. I'm like, where is the benefit outside of sex? I don't see it.
They're not intelligent. And Passport Bros are learning firsthand how the game really works. Because you're an incel in the United States, not make you the man overseas. I get it. The Passport Bros think women in the United States are entitled, but Americans are bullies. Just look at y'all comments on social media. I just want to give a word of advice. You're not going to go to another country and bully somebody into marriage. Their laws are not our laws. You're going to end up on the street. Never mind. But this is what happens when Passport Bros go to another country and think they could pull incel behavior in another country. And they are quickly humbled or leaving trail of baby mamas and diseases international. Passport Bros say they want a traditional woman. He wants love, and that's cute, but it's so inorganic. You going there to buy a wife. Going on a guy's trip to Colombia, Vietnam, Dominican Republic.
You can't ask for a traditional woman if you don't have the means to provide. It's like you're asking for something that doesn't work out. If this woman has to be overly traditional, you got to be able to provide 100%. And a lot of the guys don't really have the means. I mean, I'm only speaking for the creators, the guys that create the content in that space. You know, I can make exceptions for Ace and what's the other guy's name? They have good viewership. Ace in Medellin, and then there's the other guy. Is it Checking Effect? Those two guys have enough YouTube income to live that life. So they've gotten their channels to a point where they can make a good living. They are really legitimate content creators, but they're not really passport bros. These are just travel YouTubers. So there's some confusion here. A lot of people think that travel YouTubers are all passport bros. Some may indulge depending on the trip that they are on, but if you watch Ace's videos, there's a lot of experience there. You know, I watched a video of him when he was in Chile, and that was a very decent vlog about Santiago, Chile, and he went up in the mountains and they had like a snowstorm, and he even made the news in Chile. So that is a guy that really creates real travel content. He may indulge from time to time. This guy, this South African guy, what is his name? The white guy from South Africa, Kurt Kaas. He's got a big channel. He makes probably millions of dollars a year from YouTube. You got those ones that do YouTube properly in the travel space, but I'm talking about the Black Passport Bro movement of these channels that are usually 10-hour long streams, very unstructured streams, not prepared, often not educated. They sound like idiots for the most part. And you can't even understand a word or sentence that they are speaking whenever they're on these live streams. And then people call in and they're all ghetto talking bullshit. And I'm not saying this for all of them, but like there's really nothing educational. They're talking about the price of prostitutes. It's like, what is this? It's like a dark space when you go into these live streams. It's like, man, I know it's entertaining, but it also reinforces why a lot of people don't do well.
Places like that, he's a passport bro. Get rid of him.
And a lot of it is passport bros.
Bro, those got disgusting.
Oh,
and then they go to Europe for looking for these kind of women.
Yeah, or DR. But let me tell you something, passport bros that love to just go get women in DR. You played yourself, cause a girl in DR is 18 and she's really 55. No, dead ass. You go over there thinking that you're gonna run into me. Yo, you're not. These girls got game. They've been having games since they were 5. You know what? At 5 they were 18.
No bullshit.
Dead ass. You know what I mean? So, because it's a thing now where guys really go out the country thinking they're gonna groom someone, when in reality, congratulations, you played yourself.
I don't know if y'all saw the one video.
No, I don't agree with that part. That's a little bit on a bitter spectrum. I want to be a pragmatic commentator. I don't want to shame everybody that does this. But I think that was just some hating right there. So we're going to skip that.
The gentleman was saying that United States over-sexualizes their kids. They prolong adolescence. That's what we're watching right now. Baby boys.
What y'all got going on down there in the Dominican Republic? But according to the CDC, the HIV and AIDS epidemic is out of control. Now, no shade to the passport bros, because I know they might get offended on this, but according to recent reports, the key factors contributing to the rising HIV rates down there in the Dominican Republic is tourism.
But that's true. Like, people don't know this. It's like sex tourism is a bigger driver of HIV and STD infections. I mean, if you're having sex with that many women, at some point you're gonna get an infection. It's almost a given, right? Especially if you're doing this in countries that have very high prevalence rate. And I've said it on some of our streams. The countries that have real high prevalence rates, all it takes is a little condom slip up and you have an infection. And we know now, it's documented, we've seen it in these streams, that a lot of these guys even pay extra not to use protection. So I'm not surprised that I would say I give it another 5 years. The way these guys are going, from what I'm getting when I go on like a Razor Raise, from what I'm getting from their streams, I'm giving them a maximum of 5 years. We're going to start hearing that a lot of these guys have STDs. It is bound to happen. Cartagena, where I live, we've had a surge in HIV rates over there. And why is that? It's because of sex tourism. When I first went out there was no sex tourism. It was just a normal South American Caribbean town. And then, due to Venezuelan immigration and the struggles of women, it became a hub for prostitution. And right now, since it's legal in Colombia, people are going there solely to have sex. So with all the people that are coming in, I have a friend that drives Uber that I recommend some of you to. And the amount of people, he was with a guy from Bolivia yesterday, and the guy was looking for $20 sex. So I hear all these stories. I help that guy with his business. He takes guys around. But he was very surprised that somebody would come from other parts of South America, Bolivia, and ask for $20 sex. I was like, well, he's like, we don't have $20 sex in Cartagena. Who told you it's $20 over here? You got to have 50 to 100. And then he was shocked. It's like, this guy has no money. Why is he here trying to pay for bucks? So even other South Americans are going there for sex. And you have to understand, if you know South America very well, Bolivia and Peru don't, and I hate to use words like this, but their level of attraction, their women are not as attractive as Colombian women. So it's very common that their men also travel to other parts of South America like Uruguay or Argentina or Colombia or Venezuela that have more prettier women. And they also participate in the sex tourism. So you have this small Colombia where South Americans are going in there to do sex tourism. Americans are coming down with their dollars to do it. Europeans are coming up. I've helped a few Europeans through Cartagena too, so I know the Europeans are coming there too. You got so many concentration of men going there to buy bucks that you will have an infection. It's bound to happen. It's just a matter of time. The only way you avoid it is maybe if you're very serious about contraception and protection and condoms and that kind of stuff. But we know a lot of these guys don't use it. As soon as they get there, they get excited, they get drunk, they go in without condoms, and they catch these diseases. And you're gonna hear in the next 5 years that 50% of the audience of Razor Rays have HIV. You're gonna hear it. And some of them will own up to it, and some wouldn't. But it's only bound to happen.
Sex work from tourists. Hey, listen. Y'all see the stat right there. It says high levels of sex tourism, vulnerability of sex workers to HIV infections. In other words, you passport bros are infecting and being infected by those folk down there, primarily the sex workers, those women down there in the Dominican Republic. Now, I know a lot of y'all can come on here and say, well, we go down there and we trying to find the traditional wives. Well, here's the fact of the matter. How do you know who's traditional or not when you're not even from those regions? The mommy with the cake is right there. That's nasty work if you ask me. I'm convinced that most likely some of y'all already knew you was infected, so you went over there, you know what I mean? And y'all did some strange things with them women over there, infecting those women. Because I don't believe no sane man in his right mind will go to a foreign land full of foreign women and meet complete strangers. I just don't believe that sane men would do that. But anyway, do what you want with this story, and y'all already know my slogan. Awareness is...
Normally and typically in an Arab household, the man usually is the provider financially, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, same with African households. You got to provide, man. I'm telling y'all, it's not. It's only in the West that I'm hearing things like Sims and this. No, you got to provide, bro. Like I said, when we have our men meetings with my boys, our wives are very good to us. They've gone away from the culture. They're just saying, guys, just pay the mortgage, and then the other stuff we can split it with you, and we can save some money together here and there. But the mortgage is solely on us, and we live in houses that are $5,000 plus mortgages. So you gotta understand that just in a year, it cost me almost $60,000 just for housing. That's just the mortgage, and of course, it's only right that she can come in and help with daycare and little things here and there, and she's smart about her money and she'll save her money for when things are not going my way. But you got to start those relationships with us culturally. You got to start those relationships providing 100%. There is no talk of 50-50 or this and that, which is what makes it very competitive for even foreign men to get some of our women to accept them because they're gonna be wives. They're good wives. They'll treat you well. They'll do everything. They'll cook. They'll clean. But you're gonna have to be the financial engine of that family, whether you like it or not. If you can't do that, you can't have a traditional relationship. It's not gonna happen.
That is just something I wasn't prepared for.
Most Arab women expect that.
Just like most American people expect the woman to contribute half, or not half, just contribute.
But you're not dealing with an American woman.
No, but I think she'd have to deal with some of my things though too. This was definitely not what I wanted to hear. I thought Moroccan women.
So hearing this, like me, hearing like that exchange, my skin is even itching. Like it sounds so strange, you know. Like, and that's the thing with this cultural misunderstanding between countries and cultures. What that guy was saying sounds so strange to me. Like I was like, why is this even an argument? It should not be an argument. The man's got to pay, bro. That's how we do it. We got to pay.
Prioritize family over material things, and I was.
No, it's not a prioritization of money. It's that you have to be the security blanket, and that is what a man's role is. That is what masculinity is. You find people sitting on couches, 200 pounds overweight, talking about, I'm a masculine man, I'm a masculine man, broke as hell. No, you're not a masculine man if you're broke as hell. You're not a masculine man if you can't do masculine things around the house, like change the bulb and change the tires and do all kinds of physical things that is required of men. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not because you got a big dick, then all of a sudden you're a masculine man and you're broke as hell. No. I say go out there and get that money first before you talk to anybody about your masculinity.
Not anticipating that it would mean I have to be the sole provider for a household.
Yes.
I didn't sign up for that.
Passport bros are the biggest hypocrites. They want a traditional woman while being non-traditional provider. These are the failure to launch dudes, the ones that really can't get nobody.
And I think they know too. I think Passport Bro knows that they know that they can be providers. That is why they pay for bucks. When you're paying for bucks, there's no requirement to be a provider. So these guys also know, like the guys that have gone there, they also know that they are not provider men. They can never be provider men. They don't have money. A lot of these guys don't have money. Especially, I'm just speaking for the YouTube, the content creators or the large names in the space or what they've deemed the group. A lot of those guys are broke as hell. They have no education. They have no skills. They have no jobs. They don't have. And for me, I respect all jobs the same. Blue collar, white collar, I don't give a damn. A man has to be a man. You got to go out there and work a few hours. I say at minimum 8 to 12 hours a day. If you're not working 8 to 12 hours a day, something isn't right. I don't understand it. You got to put in the work. When I have extra time, I do this work right here, which is kind of new to me, but I still do it, So there's always things that you can do, but you got to work, man. I don't understand the concept of masculinity when you're not out there grinding. And a lot of these men in these spaces are just men that are really not wanting to grind because it's hard work. Who wants to do hard work? I'd rather get people to donate money to me and buy box. It's a lot easier to do that,
So they have no other option. That's their way of stunting on their ex with their model ex. These guys are more concerned with image and what it looks like. They want a wife, but they don't want to be a husband.
Did any of you watch the Razor Ray stream with Passport Dog yesterday? I even felt bad that I made the video about him the other day before, because if it came across like I was mocking the man, and I didn't want to do that. I was just using that as educational, because that guy went over to Colombia in 2015. So he's known Colombia as much as I have, right there about a 10-year mark. He's one of the first people to do this. And he went when he was 25 years old. He's back now about, 31, 32 years old. And he's struggling. I could see it. He was staying at his brother's apartment in Miami. I could just see, there were guys in the comment section that were mocking him and saying all kinds of things. Oh, you spend all that money on box. And the guy really took all the hits, man. He took all the hits. He said, yeah, I did this. I have no regrets. but I want to put my life back in order. The only part of the conversation that I didn't like is that he said as soon as he got things back in order, he was gonna go back out there. And I said, "Oh my God, this is gonna be a cycle. You did something that failed you, and you're gonna go back after you recover from that. You will have no." And one of the creators, I think he has 300,000 subs. I don't remember his name. He told the guy that, hey, you don't have any work history for an employer to hire you. So why would you try to repeat the process that didn't work for you? This is why I think my channel is important, because I will tell you the truth, man. I will put it out there. The evidence is there. I'm not making anything up. You can hate the message, but the guys that are going to hate the message are the guys that don't want to do any work to improve themselves. That's what it is. Because it's very easy to take the easiest path. It's so easy. Who can, like, I would live that life if all I have to do is put a camera on and go around Colombia banging chicks. I speak Spanish. It'll be a lot more entertaining for me to do it, because I'll be able to negotiate my way through it like a motherfucker. It'll be so easy for me. But what is the end goal? What is the end goal? Where is the interest in that? I tell you what I did this morning. We woke up as a family. We had breakfast together with all the kids. Sat at the dining table, ate breakfast. Took my son to Taekwondo. I went with the wife and the kids. My son did his Taekwondo class for 45 minutes. Then we went to Target, bought a few items for our trip to Zambia. From Target, we went to Wells Fargo to move some money around. When we were done with Wells Fargo, we went to a Mexican restaurant. We had lunch, late lunch into dinner-ish. And then we drove back home. When I came home, my wife got things ready. She started doing some laundry. Then she poured herself a glass of wine. She's chilling. Then I set up this chat, and I came in here and I'm doing a little bit of work, and then I'll go back there and make sure I help prepare the kids to for bed, which is reading them their books. So you spend time being a father. This fatherhood is also a prideful moment, because the work you put in raising your kid is the output you're going to get. If you don't put in so much work in fathering your children, you're going to raise a bunch of lost kids. And what we're seeing in these razor race groups is a bunch of lost kids. The fathers were not around. They don't understand how to relate or treat women and relationships. They asked the guy, what is your body count in Colombia for the 10 years he was there? It's like well over 100. What are you doing with sleeping over 100 plus women? What are you going to get from that? Like, what is the reward? Really? Like, that feeling is gone. It was, sex is good in the moment. The moment you wake up the next day, it's like it's like something you never experienced. You got to find another one. Which brings this to the point that I think there is some sort of mental illness connected to this, but nobody is bold enough to say it. It's like any vice. You need to be treated for this. If you drink too much, you need to go see a therapist. I don't say don't drink. You may be able to lower it a little bit. You might, at least that one has direct effects on your health. So I understand that. If you smoke too much, it's also a vice, but you may want to talk to a therapist to get it down and maybe eventually not smoke at all because of the health risk it provides. Sex is the only vice that really doesn't present a challenge to your internal organs and physically, but it can also give you STIs and STDs that could have long-term effects, but that's not always going to be the case. But it's just a one thing that it's just a vice, but that vice is bad for men because of how much it costs to engage in it and how much little reward you get from it. If you were to marry and live a more traditional life, you will have the number of sex that you want, when you want, and you'll still be able to function as a man or a husband and a father in raising your children so that you produce better children that don't have to go through this traumatic experience. And what I find very common amongst these groups is these men are all lost. They don't have an understanding of life. They don't even have a life plan. You have a 32-year-old that doesn't have a life plan, doesn't know where he's going in life. And that really scares me. That's a very sad moment. I don't want to mock these people. I don't want to make fun of any of these guys. I think that the more we have these conversations and we speak about it, I'm willing to go and face any of these programs. Like some of the guys have written to me in the chats, and they are welcoming me to their platforms to have this conversation. And I will tell them to their faces. If they think I'm gonna go into those, if I'm gonna go into those streams and accept their bullshit and nonsense, they gotta come in, bro. Because I will tell them what it is. I will tell them that what they're doing is bullshit. It's not worthy of men to live like that. No man in our human civilization lived like that. And what they're doing practically just doesn't work. It's not gonna work. Let me take some of your comments.